Hey guys, here with a familiar face, Akshay Bhatia. We're testing out the new Elyte Mini. 13.5 for Akshay. We're gonna get a few hits on and see what he thinks.
Wow, wow, I got that wow, wow. Anything that I want, I'ma get it now.
Akshay, tell us, what is it about a Mini Driver that makes it a potential golf club for you?
I think having options, you know, tournament weeks, different conditions. We play so many different golf courses, and so I feel like, you know, golf courses where it might be not a lot of drivers, maybe a lot of 3-woods, but you want to hit an extra 10, 15. You know, I feel like this is where it could come into play. I think Augusta National for me is a great week to put this in play, because there's so many tee shots that are so tree lined, and for me, like, since I curve it so much, you know, this can kind of straighten that out. I'll still get a little more than my 3-wood, and then there's, you know, hole 8's a great example where that second shot's so uphill, and so for a right-hander, you know, they can draw that 3-wood, take the spin off. For me, I'm kind of spinning it in, and so, you know, with this option, it can definitely help having something you can rely on. You know, that's kind of why we're starting a testing process with this, and you know, having these weight ports now versus, you know, the older one where it's just kind of you could only change spin rate. Now we can actually change dynamics of it.
So we're starting neutral right now. Let's hit a couple more and see how that ball's turning. All right, 166 ball speed, 12.5 launch, 37 spin on a fader.
Yeah, a little push, but still like pretty straight, you know?
Yeah. I know how much you curve your driver. Like, we work very hard on drivers to make sure that it allows you to hit all your shapes. With this Mini Driver, are you able to do the same thing?
Yeah, I think the Mini Driver's always been easier for me to draw, which is a great option for me when I have wind off the right, or, you know, I want to almost ride the wind versus fight the wind. I think this option is just, it's so easy to hit the center of the club face.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I don't know if it's just the profile obviously being smaller, but it feels like, you know, it's really hard to hit it off the toe or heel, honestly. Yeah. And that's why I really like it. Just the ease of it, and then now it's just getting the adjustments right for me and what we want to see. And so, see if I can kind of start one right. There it is.
Nice. 67 ball speed.
Yeah.
11.4, 3,200. So for the people at home, a lot of players will talk about, I want a 3-wood to draw, and they're primarily faders with the driver. Predominantly, it's the length. It's a lot easier to draw a shorter golf club, and then also the head. It's a smaller face, so it's easier to manipulate and get it turning over. For you, on a Mini Driver, how many draws do you think you'll be hitting with this thing?
I mean, like I said, course dependent, but just knowing I have the ease of doing it is really nice. I feel like I'm gonna want to hit this thing very straight to fading still, you know, keep my pattern consistent with everything throughout the bag. But
I think it speaks to the versatility of the golf club. Like, you know, you can work it both ways very, very confidently.
Yeah. That was a little heel, but start line was pretty good.
So little heel, 66 ball speed, 10.9 launch at just under 3,800. Tell me, in the past with a 3-wood, if you were hitting that and you caught that heel ball, I mean, we've seen some spins that can climb.
Upper 4s, you know, and then when you're trying to hit, you know, 3-wood off the tee, and then you're hitting at 240 when you're supposed to be hitting at 270, then, you know, it just makes such a big difference. And having trust, like I said, in the consistent shot pattern, and knowing, okay, that was heel, the ball speed still stayed kind of where we've been at. The spin rate's still under 4, and it's still going 265. I mean, that's huge for us, because we're not perfect. So
yeah.
I'm gonna hit this draw here.
Ooh.
So that's money.
Get down.
Yeah.
67, a draw, basically 3,000 cycles at 11.2. I mean, you spoke about spin, and we talked about heel balls, you know, that could, in the past, could climb up mid-4s. You hit a heel ball like 38, you just turn one over at 3,000. So the idea in the Mini Driver, having that 10x face like we do in the Elyte Drivers, how tight a spin window you get off of mishits has been a huge selling point. You think that's going to help you here with the Mini?
Yeah, 100%. I think just the overall feel too, you know, it just feels solid. And like, that's a great example there is like, I didn't hit that dead center. And it honestly was a little heel, but spin rate's not like crazy low to where I can't control it. And the launch angle's been so consistent. We've been right around 12, that was 11.
We talk about spin window a lot for these elite woods because of what that 10X face has done to, and for the best players in the world, you guys are plotting on a golf course. You're not letting it rip, you know, as hard as you can hit it off of every tee box. You have yardage books that says, I need to be at this point right here. So what's so important about having clubs that have tight spin windows is those max numbers you can trust. You hit one high in the face and it plummets, you know, 1,000 cycles under and it just runs forever. Like, you can get in a position where it goes too far. And vice versa, you're trying to carry a bunker and you bottom one and it spins like crazy. You don't carry the bunker. That's a really frustrating thing for you guys. So on a golf course, like, tell me about how plotting 3 woods off the tee, drivers off the tee, and how important it is to have that tight spin window.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important because golf courses change throughout the week on tour.
That's a good point. Yep.
And so what I've really loved about my driver this year is now I feel like if I heel it, it's still gonna spin around that 28 for me. And what's nice is now I feel so comfortable, like, okay, I can heel this like intentionally and curve it a lot, and it's gonna be perfect. You know, I hit it solid, it's still gonna kind of curve through my window and go a touch further. But I think, yeah, the spin variance for this new Elite driver, and you know, so far with this thing is it's huge because under pressure, you know, juices flow, and then you got a little more speed. But if you know, okay, it's not gonna drop out of the air or whatever it may be, or you catch off the heel and the wind's gonna take it. Like, there's so many variables that we deal with, and so more consistency we have throughout the bag, just the easier the control of the golf ball is. And
it's really good because we got this 10X face on drivers, mini drivers, and I think it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to really trust those carry numbers. Stock ball, 32.75 spin, 11.5 launch, 166 ball speed. I mean, that's a pretty good option B off the tee.
Yeah. I mean, I love my 3-wood. Don't get me wrong, but let's go. Let's hit one off the deck.
So to that point, tell us why you would travel with 15 or 16 golf clubs in your bag. Like, what is the purpose of having clubs that might not be played that week?
Yeah, I think, like we talked about, having options is important. Golf course dependent. Certain tee shots for me. I mean, I'm such a big cutter of the golf ball, and if there's tree lines, you know, there's more tree line shots than not, than having something that I'm like, okay, I can turn this around it. It's just a comfort thing, you know, how you're comfortable having more and more options. I mean, so many guys travel with different bounces with wedges. It's the same now with having a mini driver, having a 3-wood, having 5 woods, having 7 woods, and so.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing on the PGA Tour. You'll see guys show up at the start of the week on Monday, Tuesday, they got 17 clubs in the bag, and then as the week goes on, it gets whittled down because they're trying to figure out course specific which clubs are going to work for that specific golf course, that specific weather.
All right, we haven't hit one off the deck. Yeah,
the moment of truth.
A little overcut.
I mean, this is why I think this golf club is so killer. I know you overcut that a little bit, and look at that spin.
Yeah, 37.10 and still carrying 260, which, you know, is probably 3-4 yards shorter than my 3-wood.
Same ball speed.
Yeah.
166.
That's what's so amazing. Like,
crazy.
I've had, same ball speed, and you still got to kind of learn how to hit it off the deck and stuff, but.
I mean, that's your 3-wood flight right there.
Yeah.
66 ball speed, 3,400 spin at 9.3 launch. I mean, that's a versatile golf club. It's pretty cool. So for the people at home, you know, they don't return the golf club as consistently back to center and square like you do. But what makes this golf club cool is there's players out there that, you know, driver's like a phobia. You know, they just don't have the confidence to hit the driver on tight holes. What's so awesome about this golf club is you have something to drop down to. It's shorter. It's a little bit smaller head, so there's a lot that can happen at the bottom that can be a little bit more comforting to a player. So it's not just a golf club for the best players in the world. It's a golf club that, you know, any weekend warrior can play and have confidence that if they're not in their driver great, they have an awesome option.
Yeah. I also think too, I mean, having like the option to put it on lower loft, higher loft, depending on the golf course. And then obviously the 3 weight ports now in the back, which is really nice because if you do have a certain pattern, you can kind of minimize that.
Seems like that center weighting position has been pretty good for you. Doesn't look like there's any bias one way or the other.
Yeah. Neutral guy, Johnny.
Neutral.
A little bottom, but start line's just so consistent.
I just can't get over that. A bottom on a deep-faced mini driver and you're only spinning at 4,000 cycles. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, give me a hole at Augusta.
I mean, seven's a great example for me.
All right, full routine. Talk us through that tee-ball.
So it's tree, you know, obviously super tree line for people who don't know the golf course. Very tree line, fairway slopes hard left to right. Obviously the wind swirls there and typically it's off the right. And so for me, it's like, okay, I gotta hit a perfect driver through this small window. It has to curve enough, but can't curve too much. I can't pull it because then it goes in the right trees. And then we have 3-wood, and if you hit 3-wood there, then you're hitting off a downslope to an elevated green. So it's such a tough shot off that tee. And so this is where I would step up and, you know, if the wind's off the right, I'm like, okay, well, I can, you know, kind of hit a straight one to a draw, you know, play a little further back in my stance. And I feel like I can really cover it and kind of get it to that 270-ish number.
.67 ball speed, 11 launch, 36 spin.
So that's going to carry, you know, a little further with this than my 3-wood, about 5-6 yards. And just ends up in a little better spot than what 3-wood would be.
Yeah.
And it takes out the trouble with driver.
You'd look good in a green jacket.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
It's a good color for you.
Green Elite.
Let's go. Let's match them up.
All right, let's go for the stinger here, Johnny.
Ooh. This one's not safe for work. I'm gonna have to tag this one.
Under pressure, 18th hole, 1-shot lead. Oh, that's a missile.
Stop it. Just full show-off mode now.
That was sick. I mean,
another 66 ball speed. I mean, so consistent. 3,300 on the spin. Dropped the flight about 2 degrees. I mean, it's pretty special golf club.
Yeah.
So, Akshay Bhatia showing off this Elyte Mini. Probably going to see it in the bag here in the next couple months, and hopefully you'll see him winning a golf tournament with it. That'd be even cooler.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Johnny.